Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Welcome to a Let's Play of Rimworld. I don't think I've ever actually played this on my channel, which has surprised me because it's probably one of my favorite games of the last couple years. Certainly, yeah, I would probably say it's definitely up there within my top 10. Fantastic game. And I wanted to share it with you guys today. I wanted to do a lot more with Rimworld. And this is kind of the start of it, because it's such a fascinating game. And you know, here on the channel, we are really about telling tales through video games, telling interesting, emergent storylines that come up only in the medium of video games. And that's what we're really focused on, whether it's in simulations and fantasy booking. I mean, we do a lot of wrestling stuff, but we also do a lot of other games as well. And this is something definitely I want to start taking a look at. I think the stories that unfold in this game are fascinating. I think they're enjoyable to watch. And I think if you have not played it before, you're going to be finding it a very fascinating game that we're going to be kind of unfolding as we go. So what is this game? It is a colony simulator, though actually it says story generator. It's by Tynan Sylvester. And he actually worked on some big games before producing this. I think he was a designer of some sort on BioShock Infinite, I believe. I'm not sure what he did on here, but I know he broke it off to make this game. It was sort of one of his dream games to make. It's very Dwarf Fortress-ish, so it's about taking a group of colonists and having them build their own little colony, and things go wrong, and stories unfold, and it's very, very fascinating. Very fun to play, very fun to watch. Today we're going to start a new colony. And this is going to be based on a theme. It's been about a biome that I've never really tried before. I'm not very good at this game. I've actually never completed it. There is an end state. I've never gotten there, so I don't expect this to go very well, but I wanted to give it a shot, and I thought, hey, this is going to be a fascinating tale of how I die, so why don't we look at it together? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a desert biome. So when we start the game, we get a couple scenarios. The idea of this game is it's in the far future, and there's a ship that goes out to the colonies. You know, humanity has colonized the world, the entire solar systems and local quadrants and things like that. You know, there's a wide region of space that they control, and there's a whole history and lore that's going on just underneath the surface for you to discover. But the main setting is Crashlanded, where what happens is something happens to your ship and you crash land in escape pods onto a Rimworld, a very far flung out backwater colony world that might have some tribes on it, might have some colonists and raiders, and definitely has had its own history that has gone on in the planet. And you're forced to survive and ultimately escape the planet. And we will do that one. We're going to modify it a little bit. I have a custom scenario for desert. There's not much difference between the classic. What it is I've reduced the silver a little bit, and I've given us a little bit more, actually quite a bit more meals and things like that. Extra 30 packaged survival meals, same amount of medicine, reduce some weaponry in exchange and some of the silver. Basically, from all the testing that I've done, the desert is unforgiving, and if we don't have enough food, we're going to die very quickly. Also removed a pet. You can have a pet. Usually when you start, you get one random animal companion that you can train. Sometimes it can be used to fight and haul and do stuff. We're getting rid of it. It's too many mouths to feed. So, it's a little bit of a challenging scenario that we're going to be playing, so I kind of wanted to have it set up so we could survive at least for one episode. Let's go ahead and select our storyteller. So the game has 3 major storytellers. It kind of gives you the tone of the events that are going to happen. You have Cassandra Classic, who's just gives you a progressively harder situations and events as they unfold. Chillax, Phoebe, does similar. It does start to get harder, but she starts you off a lot easier. And then Randy Random just gives you anything at any time. His is very fascinating. We might do a random playthrough at one point, but for now we're going to do classic. We're going to do rough, which is sort of if you've played this for a while. Medium, sort of your beginner area. So rough, we're not going to do savage. We're not going to do merciless mode or anything like that. We'll do reload anytime. We're not going for achievements today. Just in case anything happens crazy with the save, we can roll it back if it gets corrupted or something. For the seed, we'll just write desert world. And so what we're going to do to make it a desert planet, we're going to make it mostly a desert planet. We're going to lower the rainfall by probably just a notch, raise the temperature a little bit. That should be good. I kind of want it so that there's not really any major areas of the world that aren't desert. You know, I kind of want it to be just this very barren planet. That's okay. It's got some force. I'm actually going to crank the heat up. No, I'll crank the temperature or the rainfall down. Should do it. Because you can have deserts, you know, in cold areas and hot areas. We're not necessarily going for extreme heat. Though we could. That would be a really fun, very hard one. Wow, that's a hell of a desert. So we got some tundra up here. And a lot of desert. I don't want extreme desert. Extreme desert we will pretty much die in, though most of the planet is extreme desert. We're looking for these slightly darker areas here, which is just desert. There's a mixture of stuff here. Ooh, there's some water here. So we have some areas we can choose from. If we wanted to be really annoying, we could just select a random site, but you know, that maybe. Where is this? It's not that bad. So what are these? What are we looking at here? So all these symbols are other little tribes, colonies, locations. You know, we can kind of see whether they're default hostile or neutral to us. If they're hostile and we're near them, they're more likely to raid us. See, this one's really, really hostile. Usually the color will indicate their, you know, their feelings to you. Not always, but very, very hostile here. So it was a very hostile world. So we're going to expect to be raided a lot. These other symbols are roads, because we can, if we survive long enough, actually send out colonists to make new tribes, new colonies, so we can have more settlements in the area. Think of it as very much like Oregon Trail. You hitch a wagon and drive out there. You need enough food and supplies to live. These roads make it easier to travel. I kind of want something with a little bit of hills. Having the water doesn't feel thematic for the desert, even though we have this nice lake here. So what we'll do is we'll nestle in one of these areas here. Let's see what the terrain is. We do have some forageability, some agave fruit, which is not bad. Temperatures range from, at its coldest, 29 degrees Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So it can get kind of cold, can get very hot. I don't want caves, because that produces some problem. We might want large hills. We're not going to have a lot of stuff to build in, so we might have to look into mining into areas. You know, we'll do small hills. Well, no, let's do large hills. Okay, so large hills in this area. We're kind of near a road. That doesn't seem too bad. Let's go ahead and pick our colonists. So we have to be very, very careful about our skills. Now, I could prepare carefully. I'm just going to roll randomly and see if we can get some stuff for them. So basically, they have a backstory and a adult history. They also have an age, as well as both chronological and biological, because they are frozen very often. It's the year, you know, was it 5500, I think, is what the year starts in. So, you know, a lot of the traveling, they put them in sarcophagi and have them basically sleep. Like here, this person was born in 3299, is technically, chronologically, 2200 years old, though only actually 65 because he's been frozen for that time. They have a whole bunch of skills, traits, things like that, things that interact with each other. They can have relationships. So what we need to do is we need to definitely have people that can plant, and we need people that are smart, almost more than anything else, and probably some mining. So plants, this guy is looking good here. I don't even want to change him. He can shoot, he can plant, it's a low-wage worker. He's a pyromaniac. That's a problem, but I like these skills otherwise. Most of these skills are pretty okay, and he's not incapable of anything but firefighting because he's a pyromaniac. Very intellectual, but cannot... Let's move her down here, just in case we want to keep her. Let's roll somebody here real quick. Medical's useful, but really, intellectual is where we're going to really need to survive here. Archaeologist, you would think an archaeologist would be better at mining. Good at crafting, good at construction, melee. Just doesn't seem that bad. Super immune and a brawler. We'll keep that. So let's now look for somebody that is... That was a good miner. Also good intellectual. Like, kind of want somebody... So we could get a good shooter. Decent miner. Can't do any medical. Can't do artistic. That's probably not bad. He's a very strong expert. So these little fire symbols show if they have a passion, they get a bonus in XP if they level up in those areas, because they can level up. Basically what we want is we want a high intellect because we need to have someone research hydroponics as quickly as possible because we're going to have very few areas to effectively farm, if any. Plants for planting is very important to us. And obviously a strong defense and some mining is good. I think this is a good group, so we're going to go with Zavin, and Machito. Sure. Sounds good to me. Now we can get more people can join. We can also kind of take people hostage and convince them to join. All right, the three of you awaken a cry of sleep, sarcophagi, and to the sound of sirens ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land in an unknown Rimworld. As pieces of shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. Here we go. So, we got a lot of supplies here. Let's go ahead and unforbid all these so that our characters can pick them up. We got some starting wood. We also have some items scattered around the location. A lot of these packaged survival meals are kind of floating around. We're going to want to gather them up as soon as possible. Let's see what this map looks like. So, sparse. We've got some buildings here that we could probably retrofit. Some over here, too. Very close to the borders, which could be very dangerous. And what's nice about this whole area is all this soil here can be used to farm. We have to be a little worried about like soft sand because we can't actually build on it. It just won't let you. So we have some farmable land here, which is nice. I'm almost thinking about starting to set up a little colony right here in the center. If we need to, we could wall this off, kind of make some defensive areas. I think it's our best spot. Some more packaged survival meals floating around. We kind of want to gather them up as soon as possible before animals eat them. Now we should also have some like cacti and agave plants that we can use to harvest. I'm not really seeing any though. No, not really. Very, very few, if any. So we are going to be completely surviving on these packaged meals until we can come up with something to feed us with. So, first things first. So we're going to probably make a area here. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a stockpile. Let's just say right here for now. 7x7 seems fine. Do a little dumping area maybe right here. And we're going to need to make a growing zone. So you see, like, it can only be on this soil. Let's make it as big as we can. So some person's just going to be growing. And we'll grow potatoes. That's fine. We can also grow other products. For now, I really just want to get our food going. it's April, May. It's kind of combined month here. So I'm going to do a little bit of, I think, strawberries too. Strawberries grow faster. They don't provide as much food, but they might provide a little quick nutrients and sustenance that we might need. Let me see who we have for our farming. I want all of them to do plant cutting if needed. And looks like Machinto can grow decently as well, so I'm going to let him also help. They're going to need to do as much as they can, as quickly as they can, because we're really going to need to grow pretty much right away. And what we'll also do is we'll probably... I want to save this wood. I'm going to use this metal. Is there any metal out here that we can start mining? Let's see. There's a little bit up here. So we have some steel. I don't see much machinery. There's sometimes areas of compacted machinery. You need components. Without components, we're going to need to trade with other tribes in order to build more advanced technology. Now, there could be components in here somewhere as we mine stuff out. I'm just not seeing it. Wow, that's a big hunk of compacted metal. Or is that sandstone? Oh, that's sandstone. Never mind. It got me really excited. Yeah, okay, so I don't see any, absolutely none, at least visible from the sky here. A little bit of ship chunks that we can break apart and retrofit as well for components later. We're going to pretty much need some kind of air conditioning system, especially for making a fridge. Right now the temperature is fine, but very quickly we can get into a heat wave and really knock some people out. So let's build. We're going to start by building steel walls. We're just going to build a little room. We can always make this bigger later and expand outwards. I just want a little room. We could have a place kind of for them to rest, to sit. Door. I'm also this stockpile. I'm going to just build some walls here. And I'm going to build a roof over it. So it's almost going to be like a tarp above there. That'll be for our supplies and equipment. Oh, you know what? Before we also get started, I want to see who could shoot. I know you can shoot, so I want you to have the gun. Can you shoot? They have bios and needs and moods, and we'll get into more as we go. I don't want to explain it all right now. Right now, we want to get started in building our little desert colony. Your shooting's not bad. And, of course, unfortunately, Pierre here is going to be pretty much without a weapon. But we can make him a club or something. Let's go ahead and speed up time. Let them move around, do their thing. Everyone can haul, so they should be able to start gathering. I want them to gather the food right away. So you see, it'll start saying stuff deteriorating because it's unroofed. Right now, this is deteriorating because it's outdoors, but we'll build a little thing around it really quickly, just to protect it. Should be inspiration. He will successfully recruit the next prisoner regardless of the difficulty or resistance. Inspiration will end after 8 days. So, you know, if we end up getting attacked... Oh, here's some compacted machinery. Nice. If we get attacked, we might need to take somebody hostage and have a prison. Right now, we just want to build a little sleeping area for people. Which actually, let me go ahead and... While they're doing their thing... They're not going to like it. They don't like sleeping together. But, for now, we're just going to have a little room. They're going to need it. They're going to need something. And right now, we got... Who's that? Purr is kind of gathering all the supplies. Everything can find. We want to get it all sealed up. The packaged survival meals will last. We need to might need to actually seal this up. So let me go ahead and, I didn't think I did, but they are deteriorating in there, so I don't want them to all deteriorate. We have a little bit smaller of a stockpile, but that's fine. We'll make a bigger one later. I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll connect this into another room. Maybe like have a crafting area, and then maybe like a central kitchen area, and then some separate sleeping quarters. The farm's set up, so that was the most important. Now, we will get a penalty in growth because it is a desert, but that should be fine. We have enough here. I'm just hoping that we have enough food that we will kind of survive on. While they're sleeping, let me go ahead and set up the first and most major kind of crafting production area that we need, which is a research bench. We'll put this in this sort of central area here. We'll also give him a stool. Make it steel. So what this will allow us to do is select a research from the research panel. Basically, the first thing that we want is probably hydroponics. We don't have a good way of producing electricity right now, and we're going to need it for hydroponics. But we do have the ability to make a wood-burning generator, which will temporarily suit our needs until we get like a solar power, or I think we can make windmills too, which might not be bad because we do have a lot of desert here. You know, windmills don't work well when there's a lot of trees, but there's nothing really blocking it. I think we can also get some wood from these cacti. Yeah, so we can produce a little bit of wood. Not a lot, but a little bit. Oh, actually, also, where's Per? Pick up that knife. You're a melee guy. Now, they'll have conversations, they'll have relationships with each other. There's a lot going on in this game. There's beauty mechanics, so you can see here things will aesthetically make them unhappy. Like, all these rocks everywhere are making them really unhappy. Sleeping in the same room or in the dark will make them unhappy. And eventually they can get to a breaking point. So if we look here, we can see that they have a mood kind of area, and then once they hit these thresholds, they have a chance of having a mental break. Some of these are extremely bad, and some of them are just minor. You know, some of them might just get into a fight, and we can see that, you know, they hate their barracks. They have an unsightly environment. They slept on the ground. They're uncomfortable. They ate without a table. They just had disturbed sleep. Right now, they have very low expectations because they survived a ship crash. So they're like, okay, we're fine. Initial optimism, hey, we're alive. We're doing okay. And, you know, recreation satisfied. We're doing some stuff out here. So probably one of the first things we want to do is build some sleeping areas for them. Now that we have sort of the central thing set up. So let's go ahead, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do a door here, maybe a door here. I kind of like the idea of just connecting this together into sort of another room. And then what we'll do is we'll build some very tiny, just little dinky bedrooms. They prefer bigger bedrooms, but for now, this is just what we'll do. Oh, I might have not planned this out well. Okay, let's change that. We'll make this a hallway. There is a planning mode that you can do to kind of plan out a bigger location, but who does that? Come on. Just screw around and figure it out, and you'll be okay. That looks good. So, okay, this is perfect. So we got 4 rooms. We can make one just in case in the future they might need it. We also have enough space to kind of have a door into the central area. So we got kind of the crafting area, maybe like a dinner seating area, that kind of thing we can have set up. And then some living quarters. We'll put doors here. And let's go ahead and get steel beds. Boop, 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 boop. And we'll do some floor. We'll just do some concrete right now. I don't want to waste any of the... I I want to waste any of the wood right now because it's going to be our only real fuel source. They don't like concrete, but it's cheap. And we have an abundance right now in these kind of mining areas that we can kind of get some metals, get some compacted steel. So we have a lot of steel that we can work with. We just have to bring them up there. In fact, let's go ahead and just issue a small mining area just right now. Just say, knock this out. Cool. Go ahead and go do your things, guys. Oh, we got a little more compacted steel here too. Nice. Or not compacted steel, sorry, compacted machinery. That's actually really good because if we're going to be building, pretty much anything that requires technology needs some machinery to make it function. They're sleeping on the floor again, which is definitely going to not make them happy. So while they're doing that, let's just talk about some of the stuff down here. This is our options that we have. We have our architect mode. We have our work mode where we can kind of set our colonists and what their priorities are. Right now I have it on auto priority, but you can actually change it and set your own custom settings if you want to. I often will do that, but for now I'm just going to leave it as automatic. There's not a lot that we need them to do, but sometimes if you want them to really do something specific, doing manual priorities can be very helpful. You can restrict or set time settings, so you just restrict an area. So if you want them to have okay, this is going to be your area that you're only allowed in this spot. Very good for animals. You can set times, so if you don't want them to sleep as much, you can kind of have them cut down on sleep, just work. Here's just recreation time. Kind of work it more regiment. If you have any animals, this is your livestock area. Wildlife shows us what we have out in the wilderness right now. Our research panel we already saw. Our world we saw when we started. And of course we have our history, just kind of a idea of what's going on in our area. And of course our factions, which show you everything that's near us. Now what's going on here? I saw somebody just walk by. We have visitors. Were they just passing through? They might have just been passing through. I saw them and then they just immediately left. You'll get more little notifications here. So we know we need defenses. We have a minor break risk right now. We can check their bio and needs. Night owl and daytime. So we might. So here's a guy. So who was that? That's Zavin. So he's a night owl. So why don't we just say anything? He could sleep when he wants to. How about that? And if he wants to sleep at night, then he's more than welcome to. And if he wants to sleep at day, he's more than welcome to. It'll make him happier. Per's doing his research right now. We do have a visitor. So if they have a question mark, we can trade with them. Who's our best talker? So let's see. Social. You guys all suck at talking. Wow. Well, we could talk to them. It'll give you different prices in the market here. So these guys have some pemmican, which is a type of food that is preserved. It's a mashed mixture of fat and plant food. Tastes bland but not offensive. Lasts a very long time without refrigeration. Great for traveling. They have 51 pieces of it for about $1 each. Our main... this is like a bartering system, but our main money is silver. Mostly used as commodity currency. It can also be used for making decorations. So why don't we buy all of this? It's not going to cost us 95. Medicine costs a lot more, but we might want a little bit. They only have 4. So it's going to cost us 149 out of our 600, but it's going to give us more food, gives us more time to basically wait for these plants to grow. I like it. So he's going to leave them on the ground, and someone's going to haul them in here. They should pretty much... Yeah, they're going to they're going to take a year to spoil, so we don't have to worry about refrigeration yet. Once these plants grow, we're going to have to worry about refrigeration. It's going to take a while for these things to grow. We see that their growth rate is at 0%. The desert can be unforgiving. If the heat gets too hot, it can just completely kill their growth rate. I'm also concerned about our average rainfall. Might make it difficult as well. We will see how that goes. But, hey, we got the beginnings of a colony here. We're starting here. And in fact, we get to name it. So we're going to name our colony P Ocean. What a dumb. So we get to name our faction, and we get to name our colony or settlement. So because our faction can have multiple settlements. So let's go ahead and name it. We're going to call the faction the Crashers because they crash landed. And we're going to name the settlement Touchdown. There we go. So we got the Touchdown settlement of the Crashers, the people that have come from the sky to land down here. In fact, we should probably show up on here now. Or no, our relations only show up here, which most people are hostile. Now, like that person that was traveling came from one of these groups. So if we become friends with them, they may even assist us in hostile action if people start attacking us. We can also go on the offensive and attack people and their own tribes. But right now, we are just about surviving and building our colony to be sustainable. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. We're going to do a whole bunch of this series. I don't know how long it's going to last because I'm probably going to die pretty quickly. But let me know if you liked it. I definitely want to do a lot more Rimworld on this channel just because I find it such a fascinating game. There's so much that can happen in it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.